In this section, we explain the use of business intent overlays related to SD-WAN traffic to internal subnets and traffic that needs to be broken out. Let's look at an entire EdgeConnect SD-WAN centered on business-driven SD-WAN profiles. At the bottom of this diagram is the underlay network, consisting of the WAN transports like MPLS, Internet, and LTE. Above that are three overlay networks, each with logical tunnels that EdgeConnect appliances establish between sites across the underlay tunnels. EdgeConnect optimizes each overlay to support the types of traffic it transports. Note that each bio has configurations to treat traffic that is designed for an SD-WAN tunnel and traffic that is destined for the Internet. The bottom bio, being the default overlay, matches all other traffic not matched by the ones above, including guest Wi-Fi. Since guest Wi-Fi is just a service to provide web connectivity, we use only inexpensive broadband internet connections for this business, with all traffic backhauled to one hub site that breaks it out to the Checkpoint CloudGuard cloud security service. The middle bio is for enterprise applications. Data like SaaS offerings or local peer-to-peer file sharing. The goal with this overlay is to provide the best quality connection by using MPLS and less expensive internet connections to transport data in a dual hub-and-spoke topology. Likewise, since enterprise apps comprise most network traffic, you can apply Boost for WAN optimization. We want each site to connect to a pair of data center sites as the hubs, and each EdgeConnect breaks out internet traffic to the Zscaler cloud security service. The top overlay is for real-time traffic like VoIP and video. The goal for this type of traffic is maximum reliability, since it's important. It is at the top, so we match that traffic first. Here, we want to utilize a pair of connections, perhaps with one MPLS link and one broadband internet link from two different service providers, and an LTE link for backup. Also, we specify a full mesh topology to establish direct point-to-point connections with minimal latency for the fastest connections between EdgeConnect peers. Finally, we want to locally break out any internet traffic here. These are just a few examples of the overlay configurations you can configure with your BIOS, using the same underlay tunnels over the available WAN transports. Many other configurations are possible. These are only a few, and we'll see how to deploy an overlay configuration that meets your needs in other classes. For your reference, this is how the business intent overlay configuration looks like in the orchestrator. You can see 4 pre-configured BIOS, real-time, critical apps, bulk apps, and default overlay. These are designed for you to customize according to your organizational needs. Each row summarizes the configuration settings for each BIO and how SD-WAN and internet traffic it matches is to be treated. Up to 7 business intent overlays in Orchestrator are supported. Up to this point, sometimes I find with new students there's a bit of confusion between the difference between underlays, overlays, and business intent overlays. So let's have a high-level discussion to help visualize the concept and differences between these key features in an EdgeConnect SD-WAN by using a familiar concept of a GPS to get our head around the idea. We'll see technical details later. Here we see a representation of the Internet. There are many networking devices connected via various transport methods, and from an EdgeConnect point of view, the concept of an underlay refers to the IPsec UDP tunnel over the physical transports the EdgeConnect appliances connect to. Using a GPS as an analogy, an underlay is like the available streets, expressways, and highways that exist for you to drive your car on. Since many paths or routes exist over the Internet, an overlay is a logical concept that is essentially the forwarding path EdgeConnect appliances use. It's the highlighted path your GPS selects for you to drive to get to your destination. An overlay tunnel is simply that highlighted logical path. A GPS has the ability for users to select how paths are calculated. For example, you can choose settings to avoid toll roads, use the fastest route versus the shortest route, avoid highways. If you're driving to work, you might want to take the shortest path to save gas and avoid toll roads. If you're driving kids to school and you have 3 or more people, the toll roads are free and you might want to take advantage of that. So depending upon the intent of your drive, you'd have to go in and check or uncheck all of these different settings. If the GPS had the ability to configure different profile settings depending upon why or where I'm driving, that would be like the business intent overlay. It's what determines the highlighted path you need to drive. In our analogy, a bio is like a GPS profile, a collection of settings. It determines the characteristics of how my highlighted path is decided upon based upon the intent of my drive and the current road conditions. Just like when you're driving, depending upon time of day and amount of traffic, the GPS might sometimes have you drive along a different set of streets because there's an accident or roads have been closed. So the bios are used to determine real-time overlay use over existing underlay tunnels. The GPS analogy is a relevant way to visualize the distinctions. The overlay tunnel, which is the best path to follow real time, is determined based upon current underlay conditions when edge connects forward matching traffic. It's not a separate VPN. Just like we don't build new streets every time we drive somewhere, our highlighted path is the logical path utilizing the streets or VPNs already built. So let's summarize the difference. A business intent overlay is a configuration profile configured by the SD-WAN administrator according to the business need. It exists so incoming traffic can be matched to one of them, and that combination of settings determines how the edge connect is to forward that particular traffic. The key thing to remember is that it will have settings for how it will deal with both internal versus external bound traffic. An underlay tunnel is simply an IPsec VPN to another edge connect. They are automatically created between edge connects that have the same interface labels like INET1 and LTE1, irrespective of the interface name. Its identifying characteristic is that the interface label is part of the underlay tunnel name, as well as the host name of the appliance where the tunnel terminates. An overlay tunnel is a group of underlay tunnels treated as a single forwarding link. It is a logical group of underlays chosen real-time based on current network conditions. You can tell a tunnel is an overlay because it will contain the name of the bio which established it. Although many companies backhaul traffic destined for the internet to a data center, when the connections are trusted to applications like Office 365 or Salesforce, users can get better performance without increased risk if the applications are sent directly to the internet from each office. Edge Connect can instantly identify the traffic by using first packet IQ technology. Sending things directly to the net with sophisticated built-in first packet recognitions is done using a database of tens of thousands of applications, millions of web domains, and hundreds of thousands of IP addresses. Another of the techniques used to automatically identify traffic destinations that might not already be in the database is DNS lookup snooping. If an edge connect is in the lookup path, it can snoop the responses and dynamically identify any unknown addresses associated with the domain and add them to its database for immediate use. Since many applications in the cloud spin up additional servers on demand around the globe, new addresses can appear for a given application at any time. This allows us to correctly classify traffic connecting to ephemeral addresses. Let's go ahead and look at some review questions to see how well you understand the concept of business intent overlays, as well as underlay and overlay tunnels. In the next module, we'll look at traffic handling features.